it doesn't come down to love at that level of power and money. It comes down to the family business. And the family business became a family that ran our country. So that's a pretty big business. It doesn't look like the marriages other people have. It's not the same thing.
It's Sophia Franklin. You are listening to Sophia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sophia with an F. If you haven't yet, subscribe. You are going to want to see these two hot-ass bitches, and I'm talking about myself in third person. Also, we are recording at WTF Media Studios in Los Angeles. Aubrey O'Day, thank you so much for being here. You are stunning, incredible.
You know, I did call her daddy.
Yes.
And then when you wrote me, I just thought you were hot and fun.
Thank you.
And then I saw that you were ex-partners with her. So then I was like, whoa, am I involved in a scandal here? Like, how many people cross over?
Not a lot. Not a lot of people. I mean, for whatever reason. But I think maybe there's been one other person. I love that you just, like, don't give a flying.
No, I don't give a fuck at all. I'm interested in what happened with you. I'm saying I don't give a fuck about going where I want to go.
Yes.
But like, I just found you, at least your presence, so interesting and fun to observe and watch just by looking through what you put out there to the world. And I was so curious, like, how did this relationship go sideways?
Do you have 7.5 hours?
Ooh, because that many? You can't sum it up into a sentence or two?
Actually, I can. And
you got played. Is at the end of the day, you definitely got played, because from my white girlfriends who know both of you, they said that you guys were partners, something with Barstool Sports, and then she walked away with the $60 million deal, and you were left in
zero, not a penny.
Yeah, what? How?
There were a lot of things, but I'm just gonna sum it up to she wanted to be famous. More than anything, was willing to
everybody does.
I mean, yeah, I want to be like super successful, but I never growing up was like, I want to be a star and like have all that attention. But did you?
I wanted to be talented and impactful, and I am. So
yes.
I did exactly what I wanted to do. I don't think I ever had the goal of being famous, but I will say I have had girlfriends along the way that definitely wanted to be famous. Kim wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying in regards to that mentality. Those people usually do better than people like us because they are strategic about everything they do.
Exactly.
And people like us who want to be seen for our talent or for our impact or whatever else, we can make mistakes on the celebrity side. Like, I don't consider the celebrity side having anything to do with me or my identity or my purpose or like why I was here. That's just some bullshit that entertains people.
Yeah.
And sometimes I play into it, sometimes I don't. It's like neither here nor there for me. But the people who stay focused in that area can become a celebrity for simply just wanting to be a celebrity.
1,000%. They're very in tune with just the marketing of it all and not necessarily like the talent or like what they're bringing forward. It's like what you said, everything is so strategic. They know how to, box themselves up and wrap it in a pretty bow and sell it.
So when it came to $60 million, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it came to $60 million, why the couldn't you figure out how to box yourself up, bitch?
When the 60 million thing was announced, I think I was like 3-4 episodes in, and my cousin Alex, she was with me. She had to drag me to the microphone when that was announced.
Damn. Yeah, I don't even think I would have made it to the microphone. That shit would have made me sick. Why did she get to take the name? Why you guys were together for 2 or 3 years, right? Did you guys not in 3 years decide that you were going to trademark the name?
So we had asked for the IP back, and
from who?
From Barstool. We had completely.
Did they come up with the name? You guys had it before Barstool.
No,
Why the did Barstool own your trademark?
We signed everything over. We were young.
Ooh, child.
We were young. I had no idea. I'm from Utah. Like, I didn't know any better, and also I was presented with this opportunity to leave my cubicle job.
I get it. It's a lack of ignorance on your guys' end, and then. Or it's ignorance, sorry, on your guys' end. And then it's a lack of, like, I think, like, morality on a business corporation side, because when you know that
Thank
you're
you.
plucking two people out and owning their trademark, you know you have complete control over them. And if they had built for 2 or 3 years something, if I'm a corporation, I would look at those two people and think, how do we do a fair business deal where I end up a little bit more happy? But I wouldn't need to be completely happy at your expense, but I would want to be just end up a little bit more happy than you.
Yes.
So I could see them taking some efforts, but I think they saw that you guys didn't have it together and
Of
they
course.
handled it. Trademarks are super important though. That's why Diddy could never take Danity Kane from us. We own the name.
How'd you guys know that that was so important? Because how old were you when Danity Kane became a thing?
17.
You were
when I
7.
first started.
So how did you know, like,
I think
okay,
in my
IP
teens.
is so important at
Well,
17?
I have attorney, entertainment attorney for mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to law school. I mean, I already knew all of that. But, you know, surprisingly, my whole group was pretty savvy when it came to that. We came up with the name in a room. We went back and forth, and each of us contributed to get to the final. Like, even when you're in a studio and someone comes up with the song, if there's 4 people in it and one person comes up with the great line, if 4 people developed an hour of conversation to that line, everybody's getting a cut. That's why you got to watch who's in the room when you're creating things. I mean, you learn these things along the way. But if you both came up with that name, I mean, arguably you could have had a lawsuit against them, because if you established it in the space first,
yes.
then you would own it no matter who came along and bought it. Even if they bought it after you established it, you could say, we didn't have the money to establish it, but we put it in the space first.
Yes.
And you'd be able to get it back. However, if you signed away the right to it to Barstool, then you just got played. Did you guys like get in a fight and throw phones at each other and like smack each other around? Or
No, we didn't get physical, but we were getting in very intense fights.
Did anyone call anyone a great name? And I want to know what it is.
Like,
did you guys throw any of those out?
No, but
Yeah.
she
I could have come up with so many good lines for that girl. I'm not saying I would, because she was perfectly nice to me, but I definitely have a heart for you in this situation. I don't know I don't know her side to it, and I've not investigated any of this. But I think you're really sweet. She was also very sweet. You're a different kind of sweet. I can see where you're more, and this is a compliment in my eyes, rough around the edges.
Totally.
I am too.
Totally.
And rough around the edges, people tend to sit better with me in the sense that I know that you're not a scripted human.
Yes. It's I'm genuine, but I also think that
But you also lost $60 million for it. Guess what? I totaled up the album. How much an album was back then would be around probably like $14.99. Double platinum twice. It was something around $60 million too. And I was like, wow, I gave $60 million away in my teens.
Oh, so you did?
I mean, I didn't make 1 cent off of anything, and I'm a credited publisher on many of the songs.
Okay, so did I not understand you correctly? Because you said your mom's an entertainment attorney.
Yeah, but when I did Making the Band, I had to sign my entire life away, 360 deal. I got out of it because I'm really smart. But when I signed it, my mom was like, this is ridiculous. You shouldn't sign this. Same thing. And I was just like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. There was no reality TV then. It wasn't like there was TV stars. It was very minor. It was before American Idol. There were no music competition shows like that happening.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very new space. And I absolutely did not have a dream of being where I'm at. And so for me, it was like a fun thing to do when I go back to college, and I'll be like the more popular girl in my sorority, and everyone will kiss my ass and keep it moving.
That was my thought process too.
Yeah.
I was working at Morgan Stanley in a cubicle.
Which is impressive.
9 to 5, thank you. It wasn't that impressive of a job.
What was your group mate doing?
She worked at a magazine, I think.
Okay.
And would like sell the magazine.
Some marketing?
Yes, marketing. But I think to your point, I was thinking to myself, this company is huge and I have nothing to lose. I mean, in hindsight, do you regret signing everything over or not, because they gave you such a huge platform?
My platform came with a lot more than yours did.
Yeah. You're like, Sean Diddy, I think, is kind of a very major character in the entertainment industry, and I was on television.
Well, yeah, no, that was all very major, and it was like reality TV wasn't washed like it is today. It wasn't fake like it is today. Like it was a real show, which I'm like still to this day like want the credit for because everything is such bullshit. And I've
Yeah.
been a part of so many moments on television and part of other people's moments to help them out. And I just know too much. And
Yeah.
I even when I go home with my friends that aren't in the industry and they'll regurgitate something they read in the media or why they love their favorite person. And I'm like, oh, we wrote that in like 4 minutes for them to do. Like, it's just, I see how impactful it can be to someone who isn't in it, but it really is just so it's hard to be on the same page with a lot of people because they have no idea how hands-on everything is that's
How
being
fake,
sold. Yeah,
how
like this whole
contrived.
let me show my stretch marks and be real on Instagram that everybody's doing nowadays. Like I don't need to see anyone's stretch marks. I'm all good. If you have them, that's great. I have them too. No one goes on Instagram to authentically share their life unless you're like a like nerdy ass person that like posts 3 times a year. If you're actively pursuing that platform, it's a platform. There's money to be made from it. There's brands to be established on it. That's what it is.
Yes.
And so everybody on it is giving you a highlight reel of their life, whether they want to piss their ex-boyfriend off or whether they want you to buy into their brand.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on purpose that you post. You have to think through it before you click send.
Yes.
It's not accidental. It's not just captured. It's all content that you've made.
Right. Even paparazzi photos that are an accident, like, oh my God, Emily Ratajkowski seen walking her dog.
Those are all staged.
Every single one is staged.
When I first started learning who has like, I started getting jealous. Like I got with a huge representation like firm, and they were like, "Oh, this person has 90% of their pictures in control. You have 0. That's why." You guys look the same in person and you feel like you're exactly like them, but all of their representation online is beautiful and you have fat photos. Like literally, I have 0 ownership over. I got to take ownership in a few scandalous moments of my life. I've had many. I monetized a few of them because I got smarter and you.
Yep.
But before,
I'll play the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Like there were a few moments where I was like, okay, if I'm taking this L, I'm making some money off of it.
Would you say what they are? No.
Sure. When the Trump Don Jr. thing got leaked in the media, I mean, I spent likely a decade or something, maybe a little less than that, like covering it up with Michael Cohen before he went to prison for them. I was coming out of Ralph's. I was a Fashion Nova ambassador. It was St. Patrick's Day and everybody posts for Fashion Nova. So I never looked at it like in the way other people did. I wasn't going to take a blurry photo on the side of my street and act like it was cute. I was going to give you a full-blown billboard ad for every picture I did.
Yeah.
And I got milk and Lucky Charms, and I was going to get into a bath of milk and Lucky Charms. And then I was going to create like a larger than life St. Patrick's Day photo. I'm not just a bitch in some green lingerie. I'm sitting in a bath of milk with Lucky Charms eating it because I'm that bitch. And the photo to this day is epic from the hair down to the toes. Now, I brought that up to say when I walked out that day, there was like a firing line of paparazzi. And I rolled back inside and I said, bitch, stop. You are not the shit. You are a D-list bitch. Like, walk back out there. You must have been walking out when fucking Tom Cruise or some other celebrity that comes to Ralph's, like everybody goes to that Ralph's because a lot of people were living in West Hollywood at that time.
Got it.
So like I was like, that was not about you, bitch. Calm down. So I walked, I just busted as fuck, walked out the store again, and it happened again. And I ran back inside and I was like, okay.
You're holding the milk and the Lucky
girl,
Charms.
like three or 4 bags of bullshit from Ralph's. And I didn't have a wig or a weave piece or even a clip on to save the moment. I didn't even have one in my pocket to throw on, which I always do.
In your purse? You'll walk around with it in your purse.
And now I keep a wig in that ever since I've seen how they edit and play you. Well, once I had fat photos and I knew what I really looked like, and all my friends that are real like showed up to my door and were like, holy shit, this bitch must have gone under. And then they came to my door and were like, wow, you really got fucking played. That made me so mad. I to this day, you can ask my best friend sitting here, like, just to walk my dogs, I'll throw on every little thing. And I'll be skinny looking good, but I'll throw on like 5 jackets just because they can pull your skin out just like everybody pulls it in on Instagram. It's wild.
Remember those pictures that were released of Kim K?
No.
And
she has full control over all her pictures.
So I found this so confusing. You really don't remember that? And it was her ass and she was in a swimming suit and it was just filled with cellulite. It was like, and then she like freaked out about it.
Did she? I don't know.
So did she, like, was that contrived?
Probably not. Probably someone got her out there. But normally they set their shoots up. They call their people. You at that level, you have deals with the paparazzi guys. You split the money on the photos sold. One photo of her is worth a certain amount of money, and good for her. If she's worth that much money to get a photo of, then she should be getting a percentage of it.
1,000,000%.
We get ready for 3 hours to hit a carpet and then make no money off the pictures that the people taking the pictures are making sometimes 6 figures on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, whoever put those photos out of me bought a home.
It's disgusting, but how did they know? Like, what was going on?
The story had dropped that I had an affair with Don Trump Jr. And for some, I don't know
You didn't leak it.
No, I kept it out of the media with Michael Cohen's help. Don and I made a decision, and I continued on with that decision for years. There were multiple photos and multiple very troubling things. But what happens now is like, what I learned is like, you can get things out of the press, but it's legally not allowed. You can't go to Us Weekly and kill a story, but it happens all the time. They just do ad buys. So you see Kim K coming out of the Trump hotel instead of Aubrey and Don Jr. in Africa.
Yeah.
Making out on a security camera. So they buy and sell their way down. After the top people get it, like a People or somebody that's a little more serious of a rag mag, then it goes to us and it goes to these people, that people, all the way down to the National Enquirer, which they own. So
got it. And so you guys made a decision to just keep it under wraps and like, this is how we're going to do it type thing. And then somehow the info got out.
A decision was made, and then I had no interest in being involved in that. And to me, when I was running the streets, it was never for me about that. To me, it was like, because I can have any one of these people, who's going to impress me most? Who's going to see me most? See me.
Yeah.
Not the idea of me, but me. Who's going to put in the most work?
Yeah. You were not.
The girls nowadays don't need to be known. They don't need to have you understand them. They're going to you and suck you if you've got money or an opportunity for them.
Yeah.
And
you didn't need that.
Personally like said it to me, literally. And I'm like, wow, they work these things called poker parties.
I know about them very well.
Okay, it's where basically you're an escort.
And you give them massages, and then by the end of the night, they're gonna be like,
and there were poker parties when I was an it girl, because I lived next door to girls that weren't it girls, and I was wondering, how do you live next door to me?
Yeah.
And then I found out because they do poker parties.
Yeah. You can make a lot of money.
I know. They make more money than us. Everybody on OnlyFans makes more money than us. When I got on OnlyFans, I was like, let me see. Carmen Electra told me, like, girl, that's where the money's at. So I was like, where are the deals at? There's no more deals that are worth the amount of time it takes to do with them. There are no more big deals on Instagram anymore. They've all gone over to TikTok. If you think I'm going to do TikTok dances for a living, you have another thing coming.
So you don't have a TikTok?
I do, but I'm going to try to speak politely about TikTok because somebody has it out for me at that mother. But they will not verify me.
Yeah.
And yet I'm Aubrey O'Day.
Yeah.
I gave them a picture of me holding my driver's license and a big high. I even sent them magazine covers at one point just to be a little bit of a... Yeah. They said, we're not verifying you, and we don't have to give you a reason, but keep giving us great content. Thanks.
Yeah, TikTok is notoriously bad.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No, it's not just you.
Okay, I was taking it personally. I thought somebody working there had it out for me.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't. It took me forever to get verified. I had to like go through this certain person who knew someone who knew someone.
That is not how a platform should be. I completely like when people still are trying to figure out how to get verified on Instagram, like the process that you have to go through. You have to know the right people. My goddaughter had more followers than me at one point, yet couldn't get verified. And the person who knew somebody that got me verified prior to, I don't talk to anymore. I don't know who to go to get verified anymore. That was ancient. I've been on that platform forever.
Yeah.
I feel like these social media corporations have a lot of power in deciding who's going to be the human being that we pluck out of oblivion to give the, what are they called? The algorithm to be today's winner of 1 million likes.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason, or maybe there is. Maybe they're backdoor deals. When I was in the music industry, like there were backdoor deals with radio. What are the heads at radio stations called? Program directors. Yeah, program directors used to do backdoor deals with artists. Like we'll put you in rotation a certain amount if we get a cut of the sales of the song. And there were backdoor moolah deals happening every which way. There's got to be backdoor deals on these social media sites.
1,000,000%.
Okay, so then why are they not being discovered and discussed? Because I need this whole shit to stop.
Honestly,
it's making our civilization stupid.
It is, and I've heard this from multiple people.
Meanwhile, this is going to be cut and put on TikTok, by the way. I know. It's going to go bum with some verified. Nobody.
Yeah.
With their name.
Who's then going to like drag us and say we're fucking ugly and
they're
annoying
gonna edit
and stupid.
us. That my waist is going to be over there.
No, but I heard from a very reliable source, and this is no shade to Dua Lipa. I think she's beautiful. I think she's extremely talented.
Fine, you don't have to do the thing. I get it. I don't think you're hating on anyone.
So I heard that she was posting videos on YouTube of her singing. And there were a couple people at YouTube that wanted to try out this new algorithm feature, and they plucked her. They chose her at random.
They didn't choose her at random. They are friends with her manager, her agent, her publicist, or somebody.
You're right.
Nobody chooses anyone at random because why would you choose someone at random when you can get a backdoor cut of a deal?
Yes. Okay, so you're...
Likely, allegedly. I don't know. I don't know about the situation you're discussing.
Everything we're saying today is allegedly. Okay.
Yeah. Let's just put that out there. Yeah. Everything's allegedly.
There we go.
Nowadays.
Now we can say whatever.
Good God.
And they just made it so that her YouTube videos were always at the top. Like you search this keyword, and it populates all of her shit.
Got it.
Look at her now. She's one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Basically, every single thing, every press article, every picture you see is contrived.
Yeah, I'm not with all of that. And you know what sucks is we're going to have to be in some way
we need to do it. You and I are so
it's horrible.
Similar.
I hate it.
You and I are so similar. It goes back to the rough around the edges. Like we're real. Like we're real.
I know. And can I tell you the ending of that story?
Yes.
You're going to take a lot of L's. It's going to hurt. That $60 million that your cousin had to bring you to the microphone, you're going to have a lot of days like that. And it really sucks.
And
it did. You're going to know the truth about everyone that's living way better than you.
Yes.
You're going to have to do little struggle things sometimes. And sometimes you'll be good. Sometimes you won't. Because people still do like authentic, real chicks. They like the rough around the edges girls.
Yes.
But... it's not the most marketable personality.
No.
And what I always want to tell everyone is you want authentic so bad, but then you talk about the Kardashians for 3 hours of your day every day.
Yeah.
That ain't it. I think there's people that don't like the rough around the edges girls. I couldn't get accepted to Raya. I know so many Instagram hoes that literally are just that. That's all.
Is that why you were on Hinge?
Yeah. How'd you know about that?
I looked into you.
Oh, God. No, I'm happy. I'm like, did I date one of your friends? I'm so sorry.
No, but I was on Raya, and then...
Okay, well, not to be mean, but I'm a bigger deal than you, and I couldn't get on Raya.
But now 1,000%.
I'm still in the hold pile, which is basically whoever is deciding on Raya, you pissed off somebody that knows them, and you didn't get chosen.
You not being on Raya is crazy.
And it's a bunch of publicists in New York, and they're likely friends with a Trump or a Pauly D human being. That's all I've done. Y'all get so mad over these men that I tell the truth about because you want to believe that they are who they say they are.
So what, did you have drama with Pauly aside from the fact that he cheated on you?
Yeah, girl, the whole relationship was drama.
Yeah.
Hellfire, dumpster fire. And I took part in it. I mean, I'm actively to blame as well. But yeah, it was a hot mess. But he told me it's so easy for me to be the shiny, like, great guy that everybody loves because everyone around me is such a hot mess that like I get the good edit easily. I don't even have to work for it.
I could totally see that being very accurate.
Yeah, and he accurately was able to voice that to me too, which shows which one he is out of the call her daddy girl and you.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
I feel that.
He makes more money. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't pulling up to a $60 million mansion.
No, we are not. But I can
there
sleep
are good
at night.
things that we I was like, I can't sleep at night, but it has nothing to do with my karma. Like everybody out here is going through some It feels like we're going through it in a way more intense way because it's in front of the whole world.
Yes.
Like I asked my group of girlfriends when those fat photos were out and everyone came thinking there was something wrong and then they realized there wasn't. And I said to them, how many of you guys have been like humiliated on just in your personal lives? Let's not even talk about a world scale. Let's just talk about your personal everyday life in Palm Springs. How many times have you been humiliated? Most of them didn't have one. One of them was like, oh, one time I talking shit on my boss and I sent it to the whole company on accident and in an email. That was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Another one had something with a boyfriend. But like there were one or two potentially in the whole room. I was like, okay, well, let me just paint this picture clearly in a sentence.
Yeah.
I have been deeply humiliated so many times in front of the entire world since I was 17.
Wow.
So many times I don't even remember.
Since you were 17.
I don't even remember most of them.
Crazy.
I can't even remember how many times. So the type of skin that I have is something that's a different word than thick. They don't have a word for the type of skin I have.
Yeah. And I can tell, right? Like you came into this interview and you're just zero
last
bullshit.
Night's dress, ready to go, bitch. Drove at 7 a.m. back from my club appearance to be here with you today.
I know. Thank you so much for doing that. That's so sweet. She waddled in here, you guys.
Waddled. This is not, by the way, it's morning time and we're dressed like some hookers in the club.
Hookers.
It's okay. We wanted to impress each other. A game sees game. I get it. I
have never.
You needed to have a different panty on, but or
yes.
none.
None, except then
you're giving cooter shots.
Yeah, I guess they could blur it out on YouTube, but I also just
or they could not, and you could make more money.
That's true, but if I'm gonna
game we live in,
if I'm gonna show my like I'm gonna not just have it like exposed on a random YouTube thing. I'm gonna launch my OnlyFans.
Imagine what Britney had to go through. That was the first. I don't know if it was the first celebrity, but it was the first time maybe a leak, the alleged sex tapes that were leaked, the stories behind those are not the stories that are told about them. I think everybody kind of knows that at this point. I don't know about Pam's. I think hers probably was real.
The sex tape?
Yeah. Likely had to be. I mean, they've now written a series off of it and many documentaries, so I'm sure that was real.
Yeah.
But everybody after that was caught onto game and did deals, backdoor deals.
Yeah.
And they blew up over it. Nowadays, it's nothing. Nowadays, there's OnlyFans. You could just go make money over there.
Yeah.
I don't even know why girls escort anymore. I don't even know if they do.
Oh my God, I've never thought about that.
Why? If you could just go on OnlyFans.
Actually, I feel like there will always be room for escorts. Yeah, OnlyFans, but dudes want the actual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like, why do you want to give a random dude the actual thing when you can make more money just putting it on OnlyFans?
Exactly. OnlyFans will probably be like everything else where it gets so saturated.
It already is. I joined the train like I'm dangling from the back of it right now. I'm hitting the tracks every goddamn day.
What does that even mean?
It means there's a handful of like legitimate celebrities on that site and I don't even know who owns it and I'm not being promoted at the highest of levels and I should be.
Well,
because what I give to Instagram and the amount of detail, time, and consideration that I give to whoever is getting to enjoy my content is like highly in consideration. I know we don't have an Academy Awards for OnlyFans yet, but we should. I think we're working harder than most of the actors out here at this point.
Well, also, who are all of the biggest actors now? They are 17-year-olds who blew up on TikTok.
Yeah. There's never gonna, I think the age of iconic celebrity is over. There's a new TikTok star every other day.
Yeah.
So you can't icon them anymore. So now what, and I've talked to all the managers and agents in the industry who now have to represent them, and they're angry about it. Everybody is. They just like, they're such assholes and idiots, and we have to like take them seriously. It's horrific. Everybody hates it. And they all say, they come to us with millions and millions and millions of followers off these platforms, but we get them what they really want because we can get them anything with those numbers. And we can never translate the numbers over to the deal. We can translate their numbers over here, over to the movie they just did or their cooking show or whatever else. They don't get off this platform and go find them somewhere else. Icons, you will follow everywhere. Beyonce walks wherever she wants to walk, and we pay attention.
Right.
We don't have even music icons anymore. All the icons that we are still looking at musically are people that were already legendary before the flip.
And Dua Lipa.
She was there before the flip. Dua Lipa was around before COVID. I think COVID is where these sites blew up, where everybody was at home and everything flipped.
Yeah. Yes.
Imagine I was gone living in Bali and I come back after I fully healed, and now I'm back in like the biggest heap of I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know how to speak on it with respect.
How long were you in Bali? For years.
Yeah.
And you went alone.
Yeah.
So your relationship with Donald Trump Jr., that was years ago. That was before you went to Bali.
It came out when Dad was president, though.
Okay. Got it. And you don't really know who like leaked it or like put it out there.
So many people had it.
So many
It had been killed for so long. I think once Michael Cohen wasn't there, and once people saw what happened to somebody that was a fixer, that was doing things for them, that you can actually go to prison and serve a sentence for it, I think a lot of people probably stopped chokeholding the truth.
Yeah.
More truths are coming out.
So why now are all of these like news outlets picking it up and talking about it again?
Because I did Michael Cohen's podcast. I was in New York doing OnlyFans press, and then Michael wanted to go to dinner, and I asked my assistant. I remembered that we've dealt with each other through the years, but there's been all kinds of like, I've had so much trauma in my life. I don't remember half of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, did I like him? Like, was he good to me? And she was like, yeah. And I trust my assistant of everyone in this world. And so I was like, all right, I'll go. And I went, and he basically told me everything that happened on the other side during this relationship that him and I had, and during the ending. On his podcast, we even talked kind of about the final day, what his dad used to get him to stay. I never knew that. I just know it was, I'm leaving my wife and kids, and this is going to be what I want, and I love you, and you're my wife, and everybody knows what it is. However, I did get to a point in Bali on enough psychedelics where I did have a moment where I had to take accountability for. My response was always, I never cheated on anyone. I have never made a promise to anyone that I did not fulfill. I'm also not a cheater. I wasn't cheating. He was. He's got to explain to somebody why he was doing that to his family, not me. But I did take accountability in Bali on enough psychedelics where I was like, no, I played a role too. And yeah, he gave me a story about what their relationship looked like. And
That's what I was going to ask you.
That, and I saw enough evidence to believe it. I still think what he told me was likely correct. However, it doesn't come down to love at that level of power and money. It comes down to the family business. And the family business became a family that ran our country. So that's a pretty big business.
I mean,
it doesn't look like the marriages other people have. It's not the same thing.
No.
I don't know how to tell regular people that are out there calling me a hoe that took a married man. And most of them are MAGA people and are like dumb, have two brain cells that are in constant chaos and war. So like I can't even care to try to get to them. But just as a woman, I want to be understood. As the rough around the edges girl, I have to fight to be understood.
Yes. And I love what your friend said when you were like at your lowest point.
Oh, girl, that wasn't my lowest point, but yeah.
Oh, it wasn't.
It gets way worse than that.
Okay. But I mean, no judgment at all. I'm literally like, oh shit. Okay, girl.
Yeah. Talk to me when you're almost 40 and I'll see where your lows get. You still got some coming.
This is so interesting to me because you have been dealing with this shit and public craziness and being dragged through the mud publicly since you were 17.
I never got the good edit. That was what was hard for me because I was rough around the edges, and it's really easy to get a rough around the edges girl to fulfill all kinds of boxes that the people in charge need to fill in order to feed their people at their tables. Everybody's got a job to do. The editors down to the whatever.
Yes.
But like, and so I stopped taking it as personally, but I am a rough around the edges girl. So you hire me, and what I'm going to end up being on the final product is likely not anywhere close to the essence of me. Some people have shown it better than others. I can't concern myself with that. The only thing I care about is how many zeros are after the first number.
Yeah. You told me when we were texting, you were like, I'm going to come. Can we please just have fun?
Yeah.
Because I've been getting exploited. Like people are so exploitative and I'm over it. And I think you said like, it was like very insightful.
Well, with Michael, what happened, and I don't know if he did this or his publicist did this, likely.
Who knows?
But like the story that went out, there wasn't even a visual out. I wrote him and I'm like, Michael, why do you have a hour audio out? Nobody under the age of 60 is going to listen to an hour of audio. You have to have a visual moving people through the story.
Yes.
And like,
how does Michael not have people around him telling him that?
Well, he makes his money off of Apple for the week, and then he'll post the visual on YouTube and take those coins after the Apple coins have come in.
Got it.
It's an old school method, and I guess in politics, no one cares what they look like.
Yeah.
It's not a show to see somebody's looks. But our specific episode could have garnered proper attention to the gems that it served. And instead, all the stories that went out were that we first had sex in a gay club.
Yeah.
And they loved that headline, and they kind of really loved it because I guess Dawn hasn't been so kind to the gay community, respectful to the gay community. So like everybody just loved to create the mockery of that. But I did that interview to clarify that the man that I loved was not a mockery, was not a joke, was not the guy that everyone thinks is coked out of his mind making crazy videos all the time. He was an intellect. He was well pedigreed. He was incredibly insightful and wise. The fact that I do interviews and they say, oh, we should have known you were with Dawn because you were with Pauly, and they say these names in the same sentence, and I'm like, whoa.
Like they're two in the same? Like what?
That to me hurts the most.
That's
because
crazy.
A guy that had a tanning bed in his home in Rhode Island, not even in Jersey, that was chosen to be part of a show that was made to laugh at them is so beyond different than Donald Trump Jr. They're not even in the same league. And the fact that it's all looked at, with me included, as one big equation of fuckery and joke and laughableness is like horrific to me for him.
Yeah.
It hurts when I'm mischaracterized or when I'm not understood or fully listened to. I can't even imagine becoming a crazy QAnon freak that's got to sell what he's selling and who he's. Yikes.
Are you referring to his wife? Or
No, he ended up divorcing the wife.
Oh, ex-wife, excuse me.
No, he has a new girlfriend now that's was a Fox News correspondent.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't even bother saying her name because you probably won't know it.
No, I absolutely would not. I'm not. Fox is not my go-to news channel.
Yeah, I don't think it's mine either. But you should read the stories about why she got fired.
I absolutely will.
Or why she left.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, I just am like the life that he's living now. You got to really have something good that you're on in order to get through having to be that different than who I saw and who Michael knew even.
Yeah.
And Michael saw the transition, so he even has more information than I do. But the interview is so incredible.
With Michael.
Yeah, yet it's just considered fodder for the internet to run with, and all of the bleeding heart social justice liberals, which I consider myself to be, are like, girl, stop claiming him in the streets. You're making us look bad because he does racist shit. He's done allegedly.
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody that I run with doesn't with him or the family.
Yeah.
And they're like, why are you claiming him? And I'm like, because the person that I was with was just like us. And I'm trying to make people see that.
Right. And because we both know, and you especially, like what you see in the press can be so contrived. And you're like,
is always.
It is.
So contrived.
And so, all of these things are being said, and I'm not like having his back. I have no clue what's real, what's not.
Yeah.
But you've seen that it's contrived, and you're like, I'm not going to base
he could potentially have had that deep in him the whole time. Yeah. I never saw that at all, and I don't believe that to be true. Mm-hmm. Or he could have became that. I think when you get to that level of power, when you're the president's son,
yeah,
and you're now like in charge of the whole corporation, I think that there's an amount of not looking back that you have to do at that level. There's other celebrities at that notoriety level. Mm-hmm. They probably have a good amount of not looking backs that they just have to do for their own mental sanity.
Totally.
And I think that maybe you start to just shape yourself in your mind as if the life you're living is something that you can feel confident and comfortable in, and you talk yourself into who you've become.
Yeah.
But if you're really smart, you just talked yourself into some bullshit. And rough around the edges people just can't lie to themselves, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was deep.
Yeah. So I couldn't get there because I can't lie to myself enough. Yeah. I tried. I took multiple things in order to get closer to it, but I just couldn't at the end of the day.
To like numb, so you could just like keep doing it.
Yeah, because it works. You make a lot of money. You advance. Sometimes you get to become the president of the country.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
And you'll look, not now, you're still in your fun stage and you should have tons of fun, but like around 40, I think, you might start looking back and being like, sizing up the directions you could have gone. Oof. The ways that you could have behaved. You might already be doing it. I was doing it at your age, slightly, not as much as I did on like 14 grams of shrooms. Or DMT or ayahuasca, but like you might start looking back at the choices you've made in life and assess the people that made different choices, and you'll only be able to be an onlooker of them at that point. Mm-hmm. But you'll know them well enough to see if they're really happy being them by the way that you see them behaving on their highlight reel.
Yeah,
you'll know them well enough to know if they're full of shit on their highlight reel or not.
This sounds so corny. I don't have regrets. I think life is so short. And honestly, at the end of the day, when we're going to the grave, are you going to look back and be like, I stomped over a bunch of people because I had so much money, was living in this insane house? Don't get me wrong. I love money. It can make life.
You don't love it that much. You let $60 million crawl right out your pocket.
But I'm completely okay and at peace with that. Like I genuinely am.
You're at peace with it?
I am.
It never pops up in a dream.
I think
or a nightmare.
No, I think what bothers me more and where the trauma really stems from was the
relationship betrayal.
The betrayal and the public bashing, like humiliation, like you said. Those are the things. The 60 million, it's like, okay, Yeah, I have a very successful career.
You're a rough around the edges person. You care about what you have to say and how you're perceived, and you know that you're out for impact, and your impact isn't being properly credited.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same way?
Fuck yeah, bitch.
Yeah,
I'm angry as fuck over it. Now, I don't live in that because I choose not to. I don't believe when people ask me, like, are you happy now? Or are you happy finally? Did Pauly do all these things? Are you happy? And I'm always like, I choose to be happy. I wake up in the morning and I choose to be happy. But is happiness painted all over me and just I wake up in a warm glow? No. But I choose when everything else starts creeping in to say, nope, step out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy today. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be happy in this moment. I'm going to be happy that whatever. I try to find the good even in a bad day and repeat it a bunch of times before I go to bed. Why? No one else sees me doing that. Just for my own peace.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Why do you think would you say the media has been unfair in how they portray you?
Of course, from the very beginning. Yes.
Why do you think they did that to you specifically? Like,
For
do
the
you feel
same
like they
reason that I
picked you?
became the star. I think why we end up getting the name rough around the edges, why we can see it in others, why we can even identify ourselves as that, is you've enjoyed yourself enough to decide you don't want to be anyone else. So you're just going to take the repercussions of being who it is that you really like, because you've had enough experience with her and you've tried to venture in a few different lands and they just didn't suit you. And you felt pretty quickly that you were unable to be inauthentic in any fucking setting. And so you just literally decided that you were going to be rough around the edges. And that's why
I'd
we
be
can
okay with
say it. Yeah, I mean, once you identify yourself as that, you are okay with it, because
Yeah.
it is a term that could potentially offend someone who doesn't understand it yet. Like the girl in The Bachelor, one guy called her that and she was offended. I'm like, girl, that's a great thing to be called. That guy's horrible. Send him home. If he doesn't want to rough around the edges, girl, who the fuck wants to go home with what you've observed is somebody else? It's not exciting or interesting at all. It's boring.
No.
Other than the money, what else is it?
Yeah.
So like, I think that you stand out at that young of an age. I was so certain that I was that, because I had already been through all kinds of childhood trauma, that when I got to the table, I just stood out to people. I don't know why. I didn't decide it. We were all equal in Danity Kane. We all saw each other as equal, at least from my vantage point. That's how I saw it. Now, I saw where other people were stronger. I saw where I was stronger. Not one of us had all the gifts.
Yep.
So I always looked at all of us like we were so necessary. I think if we all did that, nothing could have broken us apart. But it is very hard to have that type of bird's eye view on a situation at that young of an age, when so many men that are powerful are dibbling their hands in the sauce. But I saw the power that we all brought to that. And I would tell my manager all the time, and he would say, the manager of the group, and he would pull me aside separately and say, you're the star though. And I'd say, I'm really not though. We all are. And he'd say, you are the star, Aubrey, whether you accept that, own that, receive that, or ever speak that. That is a fact. The audience, the network, Diddy, whoever has chosen, they have felt in your arms. You're the one they want.
Yeah.
I felt a different responsibility than my band members probably did very early on, being told that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So like, I knew a lot of foul shit that was occurring that I never spoke on to anyone. You know, things are happening toward me, things that were happening in between girls in the group, all kinds of shit I just kept to myself, because I knew if I ever said it that it would be over. But I could see all kinds of movement occurring that was foul. But the person who still to this day lives with the burden of Danity Kane being over is me. I'm the one that's looked at as the reason that the group was taken apart and failed. Because Diddy told the entire world on that episode where he ended it or fired me, which essentially ended the group. So maybe the manager was right about the power that I held. I don't know.
Interesting.
If he was wrong, I guess the group would have continued on, huh?
Yep.
They could replace the white bitch.
Yeah, easily.
There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be quoted on this because I can't remember. I only watched the episode since I've been back from Bali. I actually watched it because I'm working on a project that involves things regarding it. So I like took a second and watched it. Actually, I watched it on Instagram story with the world and had a reaction to it. My reaction was, good God, that could have never happened nowadays. A man could not have spoken to a woman like that nowadays. But it was basically, I was being called a easy hoe.
And that was
promiscuous, running around.
That was his reason for firing you?
Yeah. Yet at that time, I had the least amount of sex than everyone in the group. In fact, I had only had 2 lovers, the man I lost my virginity to and the man I dated the entire time I was in Danity Kane. So I had slept with a total of 2 people.
So why was he saying that?
Child, I can't tell the truth on that today because I don't want to have to leave here worried about a fucking lawsuit. I've already had that heat all week.
Oh my God.
I started making other movements because everybody was
making their own.
Some were, and the others were just really mean to me unfairly, and I was getting a bit sick of it because I was holding the shit together, and I knew how much fuckery was happening that I was not speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking all the hits for everybody.
Yeah.
Not one person in that group took a hit.
I mean, you literally had sex with 2 people at that time.
Yeah, but no one at the table said that's not true about her. Fuck, she took me out to go get an abortion the other day.
Yeah.
Nobody had my motherfucking back at that table.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I love my band members and I'm not throwing any shade, but it's very difficult to just look in Diddy's eyes and tell him some truth. It's much harder than most people realize. I did it every fucking day of my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm incapable of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's likely
a big contributor to why you were let go.
Yes.
Because you were the obvious star. I mean, everyone knows
there
that.
was not an internal issue with Danity Kane that was deep enough that couldn't be fixed, and no one had ever attempted to even have us talk. We were having double platinum albums at that point on on Christina Aguilera's tour.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting a lot of money for somebody, not us. We weren't paid.
Yeah.
But somebody.
You didn't make a penny off
Girl, we made $4,000 on making the band. It was the #1 show on MTV.
$4,000
Pauly gets
total.
$1 million an episode because they hustled the system well. Like, allegedly, we were making nothing. And there are only a handful of signature shows on MTV that were cult 7-season shows.
Yeah.
And we're one of them. We're also the only one that is never played in reruns or ever been brought back in this day and age where every show is being brought back. They brought back The Hills, they brought back Real World, they brought back Jersey Shore. We have to wonder, don't we?
Would not sit well with people.
I don't know if that's why, but you can take a lot of guesses. I will say this, we were the only show out of all those shows I just named. Real World would give you one token of everything, but we were the only show that equally had white and black people on it. I'd think that'd be pretty valuable to a network as big as MTV.
Yeah. Especially, and that was 10 years ago when the show came out.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. And I don't know, there isn't a lot of visibility that's equal like that on all their other shows that they brought back. I'd say that's pretty significant and powerful, and in the day and age that we're living in should be something that's applauded and rewarded and given. Now, maybe it has to do with Diddy's relationship with the network. I don't know, but I know that they were trying to bring it back, but then when Me Too happened and everyone started to get exposed, a lot of things didn't come back to air that we're starting to film.
Right.
You have to ask yourself why. I think it's pretty fucking obvious. Nobody wanted a problem. If you were problematic, you probably weren't brought back.
If you're going to speak the truth, they
not even speak the truth, that you have too many bodies buried that could potentially arise during a time where people are telling on people and they don't care about their NDAs anymore.
Yeah.
Then they could be potentially problematic that you brought them back and you already knew what they were anyway.
Do you speak to Diddy at all anymore?
No.
That's done.
No, and I don't have any bad feelings. I mean, he made me a little soldier.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't give us one day off and he didn't make anything easy. And because of that, my Instagram photos still are poised to fucking perfection while everybody else is posting a blurry goddamn selfie with a shitty background.
Lucky Charms, milk, you are going to fucking go all the way for your photos.
All the way there. And a lot of it has to do with that training. You know, I grew up in a day and age where showing your stretch marks was actually what we were not supposed to do. Don't show your weaknesses. Make everything a strength. Get as strong as you can, and in the areas where you can't build any further, put a motherfucker that's stronger than you next to you so nobody sees it.
Yeah.
And don't talk about anything that will stop people from buying your albums, which is why we didn't get Lemonade from Beyonce 20 years prior. Until it was cute to start talking about real shit, and we all died when she did it because we all wanted to know what she was really thinking deep down.
You're a fucking pioneer. The fact that you have been this way and you've always been this way, even at 17, which it was way harder to be rough around the edges and everything you are 10 years ago. And I applaud you for that.
I'm trying to think if it's much harder then than now.
Or do you think it's the same?
It's definitely not the same. The industry now is the wild, wild west.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not positive that agents and managers and publicists even matter anymore. A friend of mine was like, I'm going to start throwing parties that are called like NAMA or whatever, like no agents, no managers. And just pull the dopest creatives in LA to a party once a month where everybody's in the room talking about ideas.
That would be
Because
dope.
if you were somebody that had all the ideas, wouldn't you not be working at an agency where you have to suit up every day and compete with the asshole next to you in the cubicle?
Yeah.
You'd be the innovator, you'd be the creator, but you're not. That's why you're in that position. And those people, since back in the day when there were gatekeepers, there are no gatekeepers anymore. That's the difference. When there were gatekeepers, those people were essential. If you were not signed by one of the 3 lettered agencies, you were not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you can be super relevant and never have even known who those agencies are.
Yeah.
Those agencies don't really matter in the long run. There are no gatekeepers anymore.
Yeah.
You can get online and pop off.
Yeah.
Now, who are the new age gatekeepers? I mean, I had this conversation with someone. Was it better when the gatekeepers were here or weren't? Now with no gatekeepers, every idiot in every corner of the world is releasing a horrible song. Did you see the Island Boys on TikTok? I'm sorry, I was 2 years late to that. I'm still fucking tripping on that shit. I was in Bali when that came out, and I saw Kevin Hart and Snoop laughing at the Island Boy.
Yeah.
Like culturally appropriating shit, all fucked up, all kinds of fucked up. That shit could never be allowed. I dare them to do that in front of anyone that I grew up in the industry with. I dare them. Nowadays, they just all the way out there with it.
I'm pretty sure those dudes are like on tour and shit.
They're like millionaires, multimillionaires. That shit is the dumbest shit ever. And there's 5 million other instances that I could say exactly like that.
Yeah.
With no gatekeepers, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, I look at it and I'm like, how does Beyonce have the first week numbers that she had on one of the most legendary albums that she made, but Island Boy is still a thing, a major thing?
It's
so stupid to me. I don't know how people with talent and ideas that are innovatives even manage through it. I'm watching some of them try, and
like
it's
true creatives, you mean? Like how?
Yeah, it's very stifling what's working, because as a true creative, you also want your idea to be seen.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out how to tailor it to what is now, because if you fight what is now, you're not going to be seen.
Yeah.
You got to get as close to you can, inch as close to you can to whatever is the cycle we're in, because it's all cyclical. We'll go back to only respecting talented people. In my lifetime, we've done the cycle a few times.
Yeah.
I came up during, Britney and NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, and then there was John Legend and Alicia. Those are 2 very different eras of talent.
Very different. But yeah, you end up creating your content around what's going to go viral.
Sure. If you post 4
paid.
videos on your Instagram today, and 3 of them you're being intellectual, you're talking about things that matter, you're being your rough around the edges self, you're being impactful, and they get 4 views, but the 4th one is you falling and tripping drunk and you get 15 million.
Yeah.
You're going to keep posting videos of you falling down drunk, because those likes are a high of fame, brand, acknowledgement, all of the highs that people get from celebrity. You'll just all of a sudden in 2 or 3 years just be the motherfucker that's always falling.
Yeah.
It's a sickness what's happening right now on a scientific level. If you're observing it without participating, it's very sick. It's why someone like Donald Trump, who was a reality TV show host, barely got that position, and then they painted everything gold and acted like he was a billionaire, allegedly.
Donald Trump Sr.
Why he was able to then become president. I mean, there used to be a certain standard of many things that you had to be in order to get to that place. It was an aspirational place.
Yeah.
Now you can go on TikTok and find 500 people that are singing Island Boy that feel that they're going to be president one day.
The Island Boys could potentially be president and just let that sink
definitely
in people.
vice president for sure. And somebody that was really smart would have them be vice president just to get the dumb people to follow along.
For votes. They'll get the votes. It's fucking crazy.
It's like, it's almost genius what Trump did to this country to get to where he was.
Yeah.
And the information, you know, now that we learn through Cambridge Analytica and Facebook, now Threads, did you read the legality that you have to sign off on to be on Threads?
No.
You should.
I know I should. I should do that for a lot of things.
If you've accepted them to be in your photo album,
yeah,
they have access to every naked photo that you've sent of your pussy to every boyfriend and sex video. And if they ever want to run the rough around the edges girl because she has a podcast and says some shit that's working against their platform, they will have access to all of those things.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yeah.
Because you gave it to them. And it's so challenging to speak on it with respect if you were in it before.
I bet.
It's so challenging to enter it and still remain having respect. I mean, I still walk a very fine line with my OnlyFans.
In what way?
The way I curate it and the way I present myself. There's nothing that I'd be scared of on there.
Got it.
You know, I'm not fucking wilding out. I'm not OnlyFans has a reputation, but I've maintained my own standard of being me and just explored the sexual side more, which is fun. Sex is a natural thing. We should all stop making it such an uptight conversation, and more people would feel more comfortable identifying as they truly feel inside. Back in the day, you had all kinds of events going on. Now that we've created 80 more letters to LGBTQ plus RXYZ, everybody can identify now, which is great. There needs to be being able to present all these identities is being fought so much. But if it's not hurting you and somebody gets to feel at home,
yeah, then why do you care?
Yeah. What our identities are, in my opinion, in today's world is the most significant conversation you can have. BLM, at the end of the day, where are the reparations? Where is the movement forward for an entire culture?
Yeah.
Where? You should have footing in every which way there is in life so that when you meet somebody that's completely different from you, instead of hating them, you can go, okay, I understand you. We don't need to hurt each other physically or even be verbally violent, but I ain't really fucking with you and you ain't fucking with me. So thank you for identifying yourself. I can clear some space for you to walk on by. I'm not interested. We didn't get to a place where like the right conversations were being had and actual progress was made for people that deserve it.
Yeah.
Because of this identity situation. TikTok is an identity. Being on Threads is an identity. Twitter is an identity. Even now, political parties are a fucking identity. Right now, you're either liberal or you're conservative, and everybody fights all goddamn day about it. Yeah. And when you meet one of those types of people, you're like, oh, you're one of those? Cool. Now, they're one of those. They might also have 500 other attributes that could successfully advance you in a particular direction, but we just have grabbed onto an identity and we don't like anything else.
Yeah.
And the problem with the identities being served up on a platter is what everyone doesn't realize is whoever is creating all the technology has complete control over every identity that is being shopped right now. It's not authentic, boo.
Yeah.
Your fucking tags are not authentic. Somebody created them for you. And a lot of the people creating them you'll never see. And they're on their yachts on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah.
We have to get away from wanting to find our identity in the things that we're consuming and absorbing through these. This is all controlled by somebody and something. And we are being fed specific messages daily.
Yeah.
This is a fucking problem. It's also the only way that we make money anymore. It also is the food on our table.
Yep.
It's a problematic fucking thing. And you've got to be able to find your identity with that completely gone.
Without it.
So then when you pick it up, you'll know yourself. And when all these things come in, you'll laugh. Oh, they thought I was a Karen. Cute. Oh, yeah, they thought I was cute. That's cute. Oh, we added another letter. Cool. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go back to my identity now. Thank you for showing me where we're at in the world.
Yeah.
I'm still bored.
If you're scrolling Instagram and you come across like a news article or something and you instantly waver on your beliefs or who you are as a person, like that's a problem. Be open-minded to everything that you see, but you can't just be eating shit up like
I think
it is
instantly
the
loving
gospel.
or instantly hating is a problem.
Yes. That's an issue.
Because both have to do with the real identity inside you that's trying to discover itself.
Yes.
And that is the thing that we all need to put technology down.
Mm-hmm.
This is a controlled substance. This is more powerful than all the bullshit that we've all put up our noses.
Mm-hmm.
This is a deadly weapon.
I know.
You have to understand yourself before you participate in it. And what scares me is I have godchildren that are of the age where this is all that they know. And I don't know who their identities are.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even talk to them without 10 minutes going by and them needing their phones.
Yeah.
That is so unfortunate and problematic, and I suffer from the same disease. I find myself sometimes in the shower steaming this bitch up, which means I'm gonna have to buy another one in 2 months because I can't even hear people anymore. I gotta put you on speaker because I'm done taking my shit in the shower because I can't even wash my body in peace anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta be knowing what the fuck is trending and what's happening.
Right.
It's horrific. But if this is consuming you before you have understood yourself, we're going to see a lot of rough times ahead. And this and our consumption with it and the stupidity that all of that creates is how Trump became president.
Mm-hmm.
Step by step, if we're taking all the intellectual banter out of it and just talking about a broad view of a systematic issue, it's this. Technology gave him the numbers. Technology told him whether he needed to be racist or not.
Mm-hmm.
Are these people going to vote for you? They're not, or you don't have the majority of them? Okay, well then I'm going to turn against them. The first time I go out and run for president, I'm going to say we need to put people behind a wall. That offended a whole group of people, didn't it?
I'm voting Aubrey for president. Actually,
I don't want president.
You don't want it?
No.
I think we need it as a country, though.
I want
I'm being
someone
dead
way
ass.
smarter than me to be president.
You're fucking smart.
I'm really smart, but I want someone smarter than me to be president, and as it should be. You know what I'm saying? Someone smarter than me, and you likely have to be some type of narcissist in order to think that you could just be a president.
Yes, and you're too hot.
Takes a lot.
And you're too hot. Politics is entertainment for ugly people.
Hold on, let me absorb that.
And
it's very generational and youthful of you to say. It's very TikTok of you to say.
No, by the way, Roger Stone, I'm pretty sure is the one who said that.
Baby, Roger Stone's no one you should ever be quoting,
No,
boo.
but I thought that was fucking hilarious, and I think it's accurate.
I don't know. Am I hot?
Yes.
I've been a politician since I was a kid. All I did was watch CNN and MSNBC my whole life, and my favorite human on earth is a fucking Rachel Maddow or like all the classic journalists when journalism was still
not paid for.
You know, I think even at those levels it is now, but on both sides.
Mm-hmm. I think we should end on that note. I think that is extremely insightful and so profound, and I don't think people stop to think about these things.
Mm-mm.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
It's easier to just scroll.
It's
Aubrey,
easier for all of us to go on Threads and post because we have to.
Aubrey, you are extremely intelligent. You are so kind. Thank you so much for coming today. I didn't really know what to expect, but this has exceeded all my expectations. You are beautiful. Where can they find you, everybody?
Instagram is Aubrey O'Day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're going to be able to find me in the search engine,
No,
though. But
you have to type her name fully out.
I don't even know
last.
if you can find me doing that anymore. I think I'm getting blocked pretty hard over there. But try.
I'll be
give it a
posting.
gamble, and then maybe you can trust me a little bit more. I don't know. I'm Aubrey_O'Day on TikTok. You probably won't find me there much because I'm not verified, so I'm not even a real human on TikTok. I'd say go to OnlyFans. I actually talk to people and like engage over there because it is a career. An actual career that buys you a home.
Yeah.
And a life.
It is a career.
And I love being over there, and it's very free and open, and the judgment is gone, and the bullshit is gone. The judgment's back in the real world. But, I mean, they've been having celebrity sex parties where I've been seeing everybody in some wild shit since I was a young kid. So now everybody's doing it in the open. We should be really happy that that's occurring now, because less diseases will be spread and more people will get checked and hold their sexual behavior in some type of esteem.
Yeah.
That it's openly available and discussable.
Right. There's nothing wrong with being sexually liberated. Even for women, I know it's crazy, shocker.
Would you ever do OnlyFans? How do you look at it? Do you know enough about it to say?
I really don't. And
do you judge it on the low?
No.
I did before, so you can say it.
I don't think sex work, it's a career. If that's what you want to do. And also I understand that OnlyFans, a lot of it has nothing to do with sex.
Yeah, I mean, OnlyFans is for your fans to come and be with you only. And you can decide what you want to give or not give to the platform.
It's no different than a Patreon. It just kind of was launched in this
sexual way.
Yeah. And so
it's got a reputation to it, but I don't know. I think it pays me more than Diddy ever did. And I do a lot less work.
It doesn't take a lot though to get paid more than $4K.
Yeah, well, he didn't even pay me the $4K, girl. That was MTV. Pays me more than MTV and Diddy did.
Well, I'm going to do you a favor, Aubrey, and for everyone, I will absolutely be posting.
You got to go on my OnlyFans.
Socials. I will.
I would like you to come to my OnlyFans and see what I do. Don't get lost in the headlines. You got to purchase to actually see what it is.
100%. And you guys know where to find me, Sophia with an F, Franklin with a Y, and Sloots. I will talk to you next week.
Wait, can I tell you one thing?
Yeah.
I loved this interview with you.
Thank you.
You are a rough around the edges, ride or die bitch. I really can positively say that. And I absolutely adore that about you.
Thank you.
You are in the position that ends up happiest, I believe. I can't confirm it for you because, bitch, I'm still figuring it out. But I think the way you are is going to make you really happy when you're my age. Trust it more. Trust everyone else less. Do not pay a publicist $5K. Don't fucking care what anyone thinks about those horrible ass photos that you're posting on Instagram.
Thank you. And you tried to delete it. I told you no. There you go.
And I love how free, open, honest, authentic, and you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Aubrey.
You don't need a team. You don't need anybody. You don't need to be where anyone else is. You just need to keep sitting down and making sure that your coochie isn't out and talking to people in a real way, the way you do. And people will be inspired and you'll be making the impact that your life was supposed to make on this world.
Wow. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I will.
Good.
And with that, Sloots, love you. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry. I literally just almost started crying. So I'm going to give you a hug.